name is Trash Bucket. That's what we're gonna call her. Okay? Here she come lying like a sidewalk.
Hello, fellow readers who have joined us on this wonderful Sunday, joining us for our very first Breakdown Sunday. Insert dramatic music. So today we start a journey and we decided to start with Bride by Ali Hazelwood. We're going to be breaking down 5 chapters at a time. We're actually enjoying this. This is really cool. This is a good book so far. Colette's going to start off for the first 5 chapters.
Yes. So we're going to do a breakdown of the chapters, and then Liz and I will go into a discussion about how we felt about those chapters. And you guys are more than welcome to join us on our reading journey. They'll be coming out every Sunday, the next 5 chapters. We have it up on our IG page as well, so you can look at that and see when we're here and come along, join the discussion. So, Bride by Ali Hazelwood. So it starts off with a prologue. Basically, the main character, if I'm looking down a lot, you guys, I have my notes written here, so I apologize in advance. But we start off with the main character. Her name is Misery. It just basically starts off with her main thoughts and the brief history of the world and the current state of the world that they're in. And I have notes and things that I want to read as well. So we're going to have that just so you can get a little taste. It says, this war of ours, the one between the vampires and the wares, began several centuries ago with brutal escalations of violence, culminated amid flowing torrents of vari-colored blood, and ended in a whimper of buttercream cake on the day I met my husband for the first time. That is the very first paragraph, an introduction into this book. So she basically tells us how she met her husband for the first time on the day they got married, and she tried to set up a meeting beforehand with the alpha. He is the alpha of the werewolves. And they was like, no, because he hard body. So it is what it is. And then we learned that her and her brother also speak another language called the tongue. That's the language that the vampires speak. And he's trying to figure out why she agreed to get married, because apparently he thinks that she has an ulterior motive. We also learn as readers that she does have an ulterior motive. We just don't know what that is yet. And then as she is walking down the aisle, we see from her point of view that the werewolves definitely don't want their alpha marrying her. It's very much basically stated as she's walking down the aisle. Like, they have a lot of comments. They're saying stuff like she was the collateral with the humans for 10 years and now this. So apparently they have something called a collateral, which is
like an alliance.
Correct, like an alliance. You give a vampire child to a human family, and they also give a human child to a vampire family so that they know if anything untoward happens, they can murk that child. Mm-hmm. Hunger Games. I don't know. So while meeting at the altar, her groom intensely stares at her, which causes her to speak to him because she's like, what's your problem, weirdo? And before you finish your sentence, I'm just saying.
It's just like the whole situation is weird.
Yeah. She's like, what is your deal? But before she could finish, he raises his hand, which she tries to remove basically from his grasp, like, out of his reach, because she's a vampire, he's a werewolf, they don't like each other. And it causes her to slip, and he catches her around the waist. Yeah. And kind of reminds me of Edward and Bella, when they first met and he loved the way she smelled.
Yes.
But like, he acted like he didn't. That's what I got reading that. And that basically sets off like a chain of reactions throughout the crowd. Misery feels that it will be a second Aster. Aster is something like, I guess you want to call it the civil war that happened between the vampires and the werewolves, which is why they hate each other now. Because they also used to have the collateral. but that went awry. But we'll get into that. And then it says that the groom scent hits her, and she thinks to herself, "He'd make for such a great blood, such good blood." And I was like, "That's weird," but sure, let's go with that. And then we're going to go into chapter 1. So chapter 1 gives us the main character's point of view again. And it goes back 6 weeks prior to the wedding. And we're told about the initial vampire bride backed out and was after they were chosen. And then he agrees to it without looking at the information. So, he's basically being told, hey, the bride that they set up for you, she was like, nope, I don't want to do it. So then he was like, that's fine. I don't care. Pick someone else. They're all the same. And then so we jump back into Misery's point of view. And we learn that she works with her colleagues and they don't like her. Oh, please. This maid's texting me. She works with her human colleagues in the human realm. They don't like her. She don't like them. Mutual. It's fine. And like they bully her. They don't know that she's a vampire until later, but they bully her a lot. Like they even smear bird shit on her stapler. Personally, as a vampire, I would have took them all out, but that's just me. And then she's summoned to the nest. That's what the vampire's headquarters by her father, because her father is like the head honcho.
I'm not a fan of that name. I wrote it here, the nest.
Yeah. Okay. So Vania, that's her father's right hand and head of his guard. She comes to pick her up, and basically causes a whole panic attack in the whole office when they realize that she's a vampire, and lets everybody else know, she a vampire too. Vania a little snitch right off of that. I don't like her. Just saying. And then we learned that there's a new governor. Her name is Governor Garcia. And she wants to dismantle the collateral program when she takes over. And this is basically the main reason for the alliance with the werewolves. This is why she's now having to become a collateral with them, because her father explains there's more humans than there are werewolves or vampires. If they had an alliance with the humans before, which they did, the werewolves would never attack them because they had more on their side. But if they team up with the werewolves now, they'll be stronger or more efficient than all of the humans that combine. So that is the reason that they're doing that. What else did I write? Oh, we also learned that she's really mad at her dad.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah. Because she was the reason, she was part of the collateral because the child has to come from, what do you call it? Like a high-ranking family. So since her father was the head of the vampires, she's the child that got sent, and not her twin brother, by the way, but we'll get into that. And then, the human child was sent, I think he was the governor's nephew or something like that.
Yes. Because she says that she wonders if she's going to see him at the wedding.
Yeah. And then, so she's dead set against it until she learns that his name is Lo Moreland. That's the werewolf. So his name is Lo Moreland. And then she changes her mind and she's like, okay, I'm going to go do it. And that sets you back to, remember, the ulterior motive. So again, we don't know. So now we know that Lo Moreland is a reason behind that ulterior motive, but we still don't know what it is.
She switched up quick too, because she was like, I don't want to do it. She was super against it.
You have $1 billion? If you have $1 billion, I'll do it. And they were like, no. But Lo Moreland is the wife. And she was like, oh, hold up. Lo Moreland. Okay, I'll do it. Like literally, that's how it went.
As soon as she talked about the name.
So then we're going into chapter 2. Chapter 2 brings us back to present day. At the wedding reception, Misery is conversing with a former governor. Again, the new governor is Governor Garcia. The former governor, I don't think I wrote down his name, so we're just going to refer to him as that. And this is where we learn that the collateral, being given to the vampires from the werewolves is the councilman's daughter from the alpha's mate. How the alpha got a mate. I don't know. We're gonna get into it though. And after learning that info, Misery walks away and possibly hears a conversation about her, but she isn't really sure because she can't hear over the music playing. Again, she's a vampire. She's supposed to have super hearing, but the music's playing, so that kind of muffles it. I don't know. Anyway, there's a small altercation between two children. One of the human and one is a werewolf, right? Yeah. And they're fighting over a toy or something like that, and everybody's like,
I think was it a human or a vampire?
Whatever. Correct. One from the vampire and one from the werewolves. You are correct. Lo dissolves it. Again, I love his name.
Like a gentleman.
Yes.
Like a gentleman.
Yes. And I wrote in my notes, we love a man that's good with kids. Mm-hmm. Ovaries was talking, girl. And then at their first dance, she asked him if she smells like a sewer or something because his response is, or something. Sir.
Yeah.
Sir. I wrote down, I don't care what they say, Misery is his mate because all werewolves smell stuff.
And I had a theory about that. Like what if already? Well, I wrote it down as of this point. So where we are at right now, my theory is that a whole thing happened. Like maybe he does have her friend Serena. And he's like his mate, he thinks his mate is Serena, but it's really Misery that he smells on her. That was just some,
interesting.
At this point in time.
And this is why Liz liked her little mysteries, y'all.
I almost figured out the one I just finished. Like I had one part right. But
and then Lo asks her if her father hates her, and she can't really say no to that question because her dad, he lives by the code, which the code is for the greater good of all vampires. So it's not that he doesn't love her, it's that he's duty bound, I guess you would say. And then while having that moment, there's a murder attempt on her by a human like activist. I don't know what you want to call them. And then so Lo saves her, and he says to her for the next year, after he saves her, y'all, his next thing to her he says, for the next year, let's make sure to stay out of each other's way. Understood? Hell no. We finna be in each other's face just because of that. Because I'm a brat. And then we're going to chapter 3. So chapter 3, we're introduced to a child waking Misery out of her sleep as she asking her a bunch of questions. And this is where we learn some things about the vampires during the daytime. So what do we learn? It says, we vampires don't pulverize in the sun like glitter bombs. Sunlight burns us and it hurts, but it won't kill us unless the exposure is unfiltered and prolonged. However, we are pretty useless in the middle of the day, even inside, lethargic and weak and crawly and headachy, especially during late spring and summer when the rays hit us at the pesky steep angle. So that's their, what do you call it? Their background.
Weakness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Still sun, but not like what we traditionally know.
That they either sparkle or blow up. Right. Light on fire.
Right. And then we learned that Moreland has a little sister. I call him Moreland because that's his last name. His name is Lo, though. So if you hear me say Moreland,
I like his name.
I do too. I thought it was a really nice name.
Get it, Ali.
So we learned that Moreland's little sister, I think she's super cute.
Me too.
That's who woke her up. She's witty. And then someone named June comes in the room and is like, don't talk to her. Stay away from everybody. I don't like her. We're going to get to that. I don't like her.
Yeah, she's annoying. I thought they'd be best friends, but no, she's annoying.
Yeah, she's super annoying. She's told she shouldn't ask any questions about the pack, strike up a conversation with them, or even walk around unsupervised. That's what June tells her. And then this is also where we learn that she agreed to marry Moreland so that she can search for her one and only friend, Serena, who Liz was talking about. And she became friends with her as a child in a human territory. That was the only person, essentially, that she could talk to and be herself with. They have been best friends since she was like 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then she went missing 2 years ago in this current state in the book.
Was it 2 years ago?
Months ago? Sorry.
It's like, oh, wait a minute. I need to go back.
And then why are we searching for her in the werewolf territory? We don't know. We ain't get there yet. And then we get an in-depth experience from Misery's point of view of Serena going missing, not having help from the police while filing a missing persons report. Apparently the cops don't do nothing to help you even in that world.
God, the book I'm reading right now, girl.
And then finally, after ransacking Serena's apartment, she finds a note with Serena's handwriting. The day she went missing, she wrote L.E. Moreland. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why she was like, oh, Lord Moreland? Cool, let me go over there and go marry him. Because she thinks he has something to do with it. We're going into chapter 4. Chapter 4 starts off with Misery getting a tour of the grounds by someone named Alex. He seems pretty cool. I like him.
Me too. Me too.
And then we learn the person who sent to the vampire territory was named Gabrielle.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the mate, if I'm not mistaken, the alpha's mate.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So my theory was squashed right there. So now I think at this point in chapter 3, one of my theories was Selena turned into a cat. I don't know. Keep going. It's fine. I know.
So we're gonna that's the mate watch, y'all, because we're gonna start the mate watch because I don't understand how you have a mate.
Yeah, me neither. When they're both attracted to each other and start like her smell is like, okay, you smell really good, and she's like, wait a minute, but his blood,
you
know?
Like there's definitely something there. So they have small talk about liking technology because she's in the tech sector in the human world. What happened, Liz? Liz has
a theory.
What's the theory?
So well, maybe you don't, but survival of the fittest, right? Everybody knows about that. This nature. So what if they have to create like a species within each other, like come together and make a child together, because that child, the humans are becoming too much for both sides. Too many of them, remember?
Well, they can't, because she said that they can't do it.
When?
Yeah, she had said that they're not anatomically compatible.
Where?
I gotta go back and find it, but I remember reading. I was like, "What do you mean? You don't have like a vajay and a peen?" I'm so.
How did I miss that? Okay, never mind. Theory squashed. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Nope, you're good. They have small talk about liking technology. Like I said, she worked in the tech world, in the human world. And then Misery, but she's a smart cookie, so she transitions because she realized Alex is like he wants to be friendly. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He has about vampires, and she has assumptions about werewolves, but they're able to, to talk and kind of not make each other feel stupid, So she transitions the conversation to Lo and learns that he's incredibly powerful. Let's go to my tab here. I wrote that down. So again, she transitions the conversation to Lo, and he learns that he's incredibly powerful. So just to read out of the book, it says, can you shift into a wolf whenever you want, or is the full moon thing just a rumor? And he says, it depends, I guess. And she says, on what? And he says, how powerful aware is. Being able to shift at will is a sign of dominance. Being able to avoid shifting during the full moon too. And then I don't know what possesses me to ask. She says, what about Lo? Is he powerful? And Alex lets out a startled laugh. He's the most powerful were I've ever seen, and that my grandfather has ever seen, and he's been seen many alphas. oh, I pick up a ladle or a spatula because she be in the kitchen and she don't know nothing. And she says, I forgot which one is which. Is he powerful because he can shift whenever he wants? And Alex frowns. No, that's just part of who he is. But everyone knew that he had the making of an alpha. His eyes are starting to shine. A Moreland Stan, clearly. He says he was the fastest runner and the best tracker, and even his scent was right. That's why Roscoe sent him away. Not a dumb move since in the end, Lowe killed Roscoe. Alex blinks at me. He didn't kill him. He challenged him, and Roscoe didn't. And Roscoe died through the process. So he's strong.
Makes sense.
He is strong. Okay. The force is in that one. And then she learns additional information that sets up a plan to basically hack into his info, cyber hack into his info. Because she tried to cyber hack when she was on the outside, but their security measures are like top tier. She was really impressed by it. She was like, if I wasn't so mad, I'd be really impressed. Because she's supposed to be like top hacker, and she couldn't even get in. So she tried to do that in the human world, like I said, and then we're introduced to someone named Max. Like she's walking out of the hallway after she leaves Alex, and Max is in the hallway, and he speaks to her in a familiar tone, but they've never met before. So she's like, "Do I know you?" And Max doesn't like that she's there. He blames her for the death of his family and other werewolves family members, and he goes off the deep end and just attacks her because he's a weirdo. And then she manages to get the upper hand, and then Lowe comes in out of nowhere and grabs her away from him and pins her up against the wall. You can pin me up against the wall, Lowe.
I mean, I wouldn't complain.
You know? And then we're going into chapter 5. Chapter 5 starts off with Lowe's thoughts. He says, she is resilient. He tries to imagine how he'd feel if he were in her position, alone, removed, used, and discarded. He has nothing but reluctant respect for her, and that angers him. You know why? Because he's attracted. He ain't got no mate. Don't care what nobody say.
At all. Gabrielle who?
Right. Who is that? She's not existent. Okay?
She was mentioned one time. She doesn't exist.
And so Lowe asks, what happens? So by then they've garnered like a little audience. People are in the hallway. And then here come June, whatever her name is, Trash Bucket. That's what we're going to call her. Okay? Here she come lying like a sidewalk. Okay? Just lie like a sidewalk. It says, Misery tried to drink Max's blood. We all saw it. We who? Who is we, shawty? I'm getting hyped up because I don't like her. I don't like her.
I'm with you.
So, then Max little punk self gonna say, yeah, she attacked me and got the upper hand. You lying punk.
Woo-ha!
I'm back. Okay. Misery responds in utter disbelief, saying, come on, really? And then Lowe takes her into the office and he was like, okay, what happened? Like, he was like, I'm not going to have anybody else around. You tell me what happened and he'll go from there because he's a real alpha. And he knows how to rule in a calm manner. We're going to get to that. Okay. Juno, like little punk ass bitch that she is. Yeah, I wrote it down in my notes. Punk ass bitch. That's what I wrote.
I put, okay, maybe I don't like Juno.
She busts in the door saying what Misery was conveying to Lowe is bullshit. Literally, she says it's bullshit. She then says it's obvious that Misery wanted to feed, and that's why she attacked Max. Misery was like, that doesn't even make sense. I was in the hallway coming out of the kitchen. Why wouldn't I just go in the kitchen and drink the blood that I have stored? And then she then asks, why would she start a war 24 hours after marrying Lowe? That doesn't even make sense. Logical questions, ladies.
Yeah.
And then what did she say? Then she recounts. She basically tells him, what really happened. And then Lowe, explaining explaining like the orphans that they were having and how Max was upset about it and all of that. And then Juno and Lo are having like this eye to eye contact, but they're not speaking. So I'm assuming it's like the telepathic werewolf thing going on. And then Juno explodes and is like, he's not a loyal. We never said he was. What's that? We don't know.
Like,
so she's like, well, he's not a loyal, but we never get any further information on that. And then he basically tells her to behave herself. And she's like, no shit. And then as she's leaving, she then says, is it okay with, no, she says to him, I took a long bath. Because when she was walking out, she noticed that he took a deep inhale.
Because he's...
Yes, just smelling her. And she's like, I took a long bath. Did that not help? And he told her no.
Straight up.
He was like, no. And she was like, well, look, I have a cat that I brought with me. Can I keep it? Oh, and I wanted to read that because the way that she wrote it, I thought it was funny. So I want to read that real quick. And then it says, what were you going to ask me, Misery? And she says, oh, right. I have a cat. He scowls like I told him I kept pet centipedes. You have a cat? Yep. I stop at that because Lo hasn't earned the right to an explanation for my life choices. Not that anything Serena's damn fucking cat was a choice. He's currently locked in my room if your sister didn't let him out with her pilfered key, because that's how we found out that his little sister.
She took somebody's key. Anna did, the little girl.
Yeah. And she's like, can I let him roam around the house or will Max try to frame me for racketeering? And he says, your cat is welcome among us. It's not the jab. What? If that's not a jab, nothing else is. Wonder how that feels, I say breezily and slip out the room. But it's just the fact that she was like, I don't know, can my cat walk around or you gonna frame him? Just thought that was funny.
She's funny. She's quick-witted. She's funny.
Super quick-witted. So that's the first 5 chapters. I like the book so far.
Me too. I love Ali Hazelwood's writing.
I do too.
Her main female characters are always so quirky, and funny, and Misery's little comebacks and little comments are hilarious.
Yes.
Hilarious. Like, there's a part where in chapter 5, first of all, let's just talk about how sexy Lo sounds or reads. He reads sexy.
He reminds me of Lorcan.
No.
Or just a werewolf.
No. Because Lorcan's just like a grump always.
No. I'm talking about body-wise. How I imagine Lorcan to be like big and just like that's how I imagine Lorcan.
Oh,
Lo.
Yeah, because he's bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
So just like a little hint in chapter 5 about her quick-witted little mouth on page 81. Let me see. Okay. So it's when he's against her and she's like, I didn't attack Max. And he said, he presses his full lips together. You were showing him your fangs. She's like, you jealous? I bat my eyes at him. Not sure. Like, he has you pins. Like, you're like tempting the devil. She gives no fucks. No fucks. She does not care.
Yes.
She's hilarious.
Yes. She is really funny. I like the way she writes. I think Ali Hazelwood will be on my next book recommendation. I like her book so far, everything that I've read. And we haven't even finished this one yet. But so far, so good.
Yeah. No, I really like, I love her writing.
Yeah.
They're always feel good. Like for me, they're feel good, light reads, funny. They're always funny. I'm always laughing.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. So you guys, that is chapters 1 through 5. If you're going to join us for the next ones, we're going to go through 6 through 10 for the next episode next week, Sunday. Again, this is going to be our Sunday breakdown for Bride. And you can more than welcome to join us. Leave a comment below. Tell us what you think. We're going to get into the story and, break it down with you. Mm-hmm. Have you read any Ali Hazelwood books?
Do you like them? Do you not like them? Let us know. Yes. Or if there's any books similar to this. Well, you don't even know because it's 5 chapters in. But anyways, let us know.
Or vampires and werewolves, because I don't feel like I've read those in a while. So, I'm intrigued because it's been fairies for so long,
Yes.
So now it's like, you're coming back in. So I'm with it. But you guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. We will be here again next Sunday for the next book breakdown. Liz will be doing that one, chapter 6 through 10. And come on back, come join us, interact with us, and we'll see you then.
Yes.
Wait, like, share, subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Bye.